Wouldn't be Ryan the Great, and today we are talking the Philadelphia Eagles, guys, getting a slight win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And yeah, it was not pretty in the second half where Philadelphia scored 7 points. Tampa Bay scored 19. Not that great, but Philadelphia did eventually pull away with the 31-25 victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And yeah, we're just going to be breaking down this game. So let's just get right into it. Before we get right into it, guys, make sure you guys subscribe with your post notifications on. Go subscribe to my brother Lindy Blogs. Make sure you subscribe to my second channel at Around the Combat Great. Make sure you guys go follow me on X Around the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go follow me on TikTok at Around the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go listen to the latest edition of the CR7 podcast. And make sure you guys go follow me on Instagram at Ryan Sully Sports Media. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into the video. So starting off with the Eagles, their offense and their quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Jalen, a very, very good first half. Do not get me wrong. He led the Eagles down the field more passing-wise, and he got it done. There is no questioning about that. Had 2 passing touchdowns in this game, both of them being to Dallas Goedert. Obviously, they were on the goal line, and they were trickery calls. But he led the Eagles down the field for the most part. He got it done with his legs. Was very good on the read options. And threw the ball half decently well in the first half. In the second half, however, it wasn't that great. Once again, we lost Lane Johnson. It feels like whenever the Eagles lose Lane Johnson, they just forget how to play football, or specifically Kevin Patullo just doesn't know how to call an offense until he gets to the locker room or something like that, because it was an abysmal second half from everybody. Hurts, bad reads. He didn't really escape the pocket. I felt like he was feeling the pressure. It overall was just a very, very bad second half for Jalen Hurts. I would have preferred, what kind of was last week, where you don't play good in the first half and then play good in the second half. But that's just not the way the cookie crumbled. I guess I'd rather have him finish better in the back half than in the first half. But what are you going to do? Rushed it. But overall, once again, Hurts, he won the game. Until the Eagles start losing is when people are really going to start criticizing him. But I've always said, and I think I said this last week, you can't not criticize someone in a win than when you would in a loss, if that made sense. So my point being is that we kind of have to criticize Hurts a little bit, even though he won the game. And once again, the back half of the game, he did not play well. He didn't do what he was doing in the first half. Now, granted, the play calling was not that great. It was very basic and uninspired, unlike the first half, where it seemed like we were opening up the playbook a little bit, and we were, really putting our best foot forward. In the second half, that just didn't seem like it was the case. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we have to give Hurts a little bit of criticism, but I don't know if I want to say that much though. Saquon Barkley, listen, I didn't expect that much from Barkley in this game. While he did have the touchdown off the fake tush push, but that was very, very nice. I really didn't expect the Eagles to run with him that much up the gut. I understand he did get 19 carries in this game, and he only got 43 yards. But most of those yards were kind of just, gray yards. I don't think the stat line paints the whole picture of what Barkley was able to do, because for the most part, he was impactful, that being in the first half. He was picking up those gritty yards for Philadelphia, so we didn't really have to use the tush push. But yeah, I didn't expect the Eagles to do much with him in this game, or I didn't expect him to have that great of a game. Obviously, with Vita Vea, Levante David, and all those boys, it's hard to get past them on the first level. And especially with everybody going down with injuries, Tyler Steen going out of the game, Lane Johnson out of the game. Tyler Steen was eventually back in there, but Lane Johnson did not return. So yeah, I didn't expect much from Barkley. I don't blame him, really. This is 2 weeks where he hasn't played that well. But going on a week where, we're going to play Denver, once again, a very good defense. And then, we'll play the Giants, Vikings, and then the Giants again. So I expect him to have better games then. Receiving-wise, Dallas Goedert played a pretty half-decent game. Caught all 4 of his targets. Obviously, he was able to maneuver himself, get the blockers in front of him to score his touchdown, so he played very well. Barkley caught a couple passes, but there really wasn't much. Devontae Smith, Once again, not really much. He had a couple passes on the sideline in the first half that kept us going on drives, which is obviously nice. He didn't have an opportunity, though, to turn back around on his drag routes today. So, I mean, take that as you will. And now A.J. Brown. I just kind of talked about all the receivers just in one because I wanted to talk about A.J. Brown. He had 9 targets for 2 catches and 7 yards. We go through this every single damn season, and I've been saying this. It's not like the Eagles are not trying to get him the ball. It's that he is being double-teamed. Now, I will say this. There were a couple times where he was one-on-one, and he didn't get open. When we had that 1 3-and-out where we attempted all 3 passes to him, he did not get open on those one-on-one coverages. That is the 3 times out of the season so far where he has not gotten open in one-on-one coverage. For the most part, he's being double-teamed. Now, is it Kevin Patullo's fault he's not trying to get him the ball while being double-teamed? Sure. But he's also trying to get other guys involved while taking advantage of the double team, which is where I don't blame Kevin Patullo that much. And then A.J. Brown goes on social media and posts some Bible quote. I don't remember it off the top of my head. And now everyone's like, oh, he's going to be traded from the Eagles. He doesn't want to be there. We go through this every single season. This was my biggest motivation to film a video at 8:18 p.m. on a Monday. We go through this every season where we think A.J. Brown's going to get traded. He's not going anywhere. First of all, no team is trading for no wild card team or team that can possibly take the next step to a Super Bowl is not trading for a number 1 wide receiver in the middle of the season or as we're getting into the middle of the season. No team is doing that. That is first. Second, let me take you back to the Super Bowl parade. A.J. Brown, he was speaking, and this quote always stuck with me. It was the first thing I thought of when I started hearing these headlines. He said, they said all I care about was stats. They said all I care about was stats. They said I was a diva. The quote was, they said I was a diva. They said all I care about is stats. You can get that, you get that right or whatever, but the one thing you can get right is I'm a effing champion. Something like that. I got confused in there in the middle. But regardless, that was you understand the basis of the quote. He's talking about how they won. I don't think he's having a problem that they're winning the game. Like that just doesn't make sense. Why would he want to go anywhere if they're winning football games? If you're going to use that logic that he's not getting the football and they're winning games, then go back to, I don't know, the playoffs where, against the Packers or, take one of the games where he wasn't getting the football. I mean, he didn't get the football that much. I know he had a touchdown against Kansas City, but it's not like he was, the star of the show. That was Jalen Hurts. So, why didn't he request a trade after they won the Super Bowl? Or why wasn't he traded after the Eagles won the Super Bowl? They were cutting costs of the Eagles. So this logic really doesn't make that much sense to me. We go through this every single year with A.J. Brown, where we think he wants to be traded, he doesn't go anywhere, and the Eagles have been in the Super Bowl for the last 2 out of 3 years. So I'm not buying this BS. I encourage you guys watching this video to not buy into it either. Hell, A.J. Brown's giving us some entertainment, so I guess we can take that as we will. Offensive line, I thought it was decent for the most part. Once again, there wasn't much game plan into the run for this game, so I'm not going to put too much into that. But pass protection-wise, I thought we were half decent. Even when there were extra men on the rush, I thought we picked them up well. Even the blitz pickup was good from guys like Will Shipley and Saquon Barkley. But I thought, the communication, making sure everybody had their one-on-ones, and mostly the Eagles mostly win those. So I thought it was a pretty good game, pass blocking-wise. Lane Johnson, I don't know what's going on with him. It seems like the last couple of weeks he's been, there's been something wrong with him. I don't really know the update on his injury. It was a shoulder injury. We haven't gotten an update since the game, so I really don't know what's going on with Lane Johnson. All I know is that I don't understand why he's just sitting on the sideline just doing nothing during the game. Like, can he not get worked on? Can we not figure out a way to possibly get him back in the game? Like, I'm no doctor, but why would you just want to have the dude sitting there doing nothing while he's just the second best player on the Eagles? It doesn't really make any sense to me why we can't have him worked on or anything. I don't know. Regardless, moving on to our defense and our defensive line, not a terrible game. I thought we inflicted some more pressure than we did last week. Ojimo had a sack. I thought the run defense overall was, it was all right. We gave up 4.2 yards to Bucky Irving. I don't think it was great in any way. I am getting concerned about the Eagles' run defense, though. It has not looked good all season, even with teams that don't particularly run the ball that well, like Kansas City and whatnot. Even letting the quarterback run it has not. Thank God Baker and Stafford don't run the football, because our run defense has been very mediocre, to say the very least. Jalen Hunt, he had a tackle for loss. The edge rushers were a little bit better. I thought Uche, if that's how you pronounce his name, I thought he had a half-decent game. He was involved in a lot of tackles in the backfield and at the line of scrimmage. I thought he had a solid game. Once again, Nolan Smith, a big loss. But I thought the edge rushers overall were pretty half-decent today. I was a bit surprised we didn't see Zadarius Smith more. Maybe he's just getting implemented with the plays. I'm not necessarily sure. I didn't really see much from Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. They were pretty much of a non-factor in this game. They did not look good in the run. A little disappointed in that. Linebackers, Zach Bond, another great game, 8 total tackles. A tackle for loss and a sack. So you love to see it. He was in the backfield for the most part. His coverage was pretty half-decent. But we just got to stop the run a bit better, and maybe Bond's got to improve in that sort of sense. I don't know, but this is something we got to start working on, is this run defense. Campbell, up and down. He had, the interception. He made up for everything with the interception after he gave up the 70-yard pass to Bucky Irving. Not necessarily sure why a linebacker is covering a running back like Bucky Irving, but I digress. I thought overall, though, his coverage was pretty half-decent. Obviously, he had the interception. His coverage was half-decent, though. And he made a couple plays. I can't hate on him at all. He played pretty well. Pass deflection, 4 total tackles. I thought Jahad Campbell was very involved with everything that was going on. He was involved with the plays at the backfield. His coverage was half decent for the most part, minus the play to Bucky Irving. I liked what Campbell was doing. And then the secondary wise, Mitchell was locked down. Literally, his fundamentals are they might be one of the best in the league. Even as a second-year player, that's just absolutely incredible. Just watch his film, dude. He's just a monster staying on his receiver. DeJean with a lot better of a game. He was making some great plays in the secondary. He was breaking up the hands in the slot. Very great game for him. He was also tackling well, too. He might have been ankle diving a couple times, but his tackling was incredible. The second guys would get the ball, they'd be on the ground as soon as they came in DeJean's way. So he was great. Even if he did give up a pass, they were on the ground immediately. So a great game from Cooper DeJean. Probably the MVP, one of the MVPs of the defense of this game. Blankenship, nothing bad. I thought he was all right. Makuba, same thing. Nothing really much for them in this game. I think that's it overall. I do want to talk about the play calling, though. Listen, what I was very, very confused about with Petula, first off, great first half. I can't hate it all. Great first half. It seems like when he loses Lane Johnson, though, he just, completely forgets how to call the plays. They were very uninspired plays, very basic. There weren't really that many designs to get guys open. I felt that the route tree was pretty simple in the second half for most of the guys. It was a lot of simple, just hand it off to Barkley through the middle. In the second half, it was very uninspired. I didn't really understand it. And one of the weirdest things I remember is at the end of the third quarter, we were I think we might have got a penalty or something. I think we had a penalty, and he kept running the ball. Like, he ran the ball, once. Like, it was weird. He kept running the ball when we should have been throwing, and I thought he was trying to drill the time to give the offense, a little bit of and give the defense a little bit of a rest before, they could have possibly had to go back on the field, so they could go back on the field on the fourth quarter and have that extra rest. But then I think it was third down where I'm sorry, no, it was second down. We ran the ball on first down when I thought we should have been throwing it. And then on second down, we just decided to throw the football on a play downfield that was incomplete. And then that left 7 seconds on the clock. And then we threw the ball again on third down. And there was 1 second remaining. And I don't know. It was just weird play calling at the end of the third quarter. Like, I thought he was trying to get us to the end of the quarter. So maybe I'm getting the plays wrong, but I thought that he was trying to get us to the end of the third quarter so we could have a rest and then go back on the field, that being everybody, offense and defense. But then we just started randomly throwing the football, and we had to punt the ball away. I didn't really understand the logic. I don't remember if I'm getting all the plays right. But I think it was a run on first down and then 2 throws, and I was just very, very confused on what he was trying to do there. Especially with the 2 throws downfield. That's not like it was a 5-yard throw. It was like 20-yard rainbow balls. I don't know. Very confusing. Very, very confusing. But Vic Fangio, great calls. Once again, he sent the pass rush when needed, especially late in the game. And it worked out. It worked out well. We made Baker throw it away, forced him into some bad decisions, evidently on the interception. Obviously got a sack. Bond had the sack. So it was great play calling by Vic Fangio. I tweeted out that everybody on offense, including Patullo, should give their second half salary, however much money they made in the second half. They should donate that to Fangio for how great of a game he called, and especially in the second half. Overall, the Eagles got to find a way to play 60 minutes, dude. I can't keep giving them these excuses. Once again, I understand you lost Lane Johnson, but you also lost him last week. So you got to figure, if this is going to be a repeated pattern where he's going to be injured, like Slay last season, then you got to find a way to call the game without him. So, you got to figure that out. Overall, it was, we figured it out. We won the game. But, there's going to be one of these times where we don't win the game. I don't want the repeat like 2023 where, we were just barely winning the games and then we just had a collapse. And we couldn't figure it out. Also, I wanted to bring up Caleb Ringo. I forgot to bring that up in the secondary. Why can't that dude tackle? Why can't he get low? Is he having a back injury or something? Because for some reason, he was just standing straight up and trying to bring down Bucky Irving, got stiff-armed twice. What the hell are you doing? That was ridiculous. That was worse than... No, I can't say it was worse than Adoree Jackson. Ringo, not a terrible game overall, but I don't know what the hell he was doing when it came to his tackling. But yeah, that's it. That'll do it for this video, guys. Make sure you subscribe with the post notifications on. Go subscribe to my brother in the Great Vlogs. Make sure you subscribe to my second channel at Around the Combat Great. Make sure you guys follow me at X on the Great RTG. Make sure you guys follow me on TikTok at Around the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go listen to the latest edition of the CR7 podcast. And make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at Ryan Stoley Sports Media. And as always, Ryan the Great out. Peace.